and guests. My name is Bharat Bhushan, and today I'm going to speak about how to attain financial independence. So my first question is, let me ask you this. How can we attain financial independence? So what do you think when we say how to attain financial independence? Anybody?
Again, not having to work.
You have to be very wisely. That's what I wanted to hear. You don't have to work. So financial independence is something that brings you out of the rat race of people going to work every day for money and to survive. Or it is something like to make the person stand out of the people, like the public, who are going to work every day for money. So that is what is called financial independence. So wealth is a person's ability to survive so many number of days forward, or if I start working today, how long could I survive? So one of the things most of the people, they confuse is that it doesn't matter how much money you make, it is how much money you keep. That is important, right? So I thought about how can I attain the financial independence, and one of the ways you can attain financial independence is to be rich, right? And what is stopping us from being rich? I thought about that topic and I came up with few things. School did not teach us financial literacy. I strongly believe that once we go to school, actually, most of the time they always say you should go to school, you work hard so that you can get a good paying job, right? They would never tell you to be an entrepreneur. So one of the things in the schools they have to fix is that they should encourage people to start doing their own business, entrepreneurs, do whatever they want to do instead of teaching them to be employee. Like when you say, in the school actually, they say don't do any mistakes. They will punish you for doing mistakes. But actually if you see how the humans are being made, we learn by doing mistakes, right? We fall and then we stand. We fell so many times, that's how we learn to walk. But in school, they will punish you for doing mistakes. And there is a book by author that is Robert Kiyosaki. That is a book name is Rich People, Rich Dad and Poor Dad, where he says that he's not saying against going into for higher education, but what he's saying is that in the higher education, they don't make you street smart. And I agree with that actually, because they are not teaching you financial literacy. They don't tell you how to be financial smart. They don't have any subject for that. They always tell you to be a good employee. So schools did not teach us financial literacy. And second is most of us don't think right. When somebody says, even I remember when I used to be young actually, I would ask my parents, can I get that? And they would say, we cannot afford it. And when you say, I cannot afford it, it means your brain shouldn't work anymore. Your brain shuts down, it doesn't have to think anymore because you cannot afford it. And what happens? It brings sadness, it brings depression, it brings dejection. So a lot of things which is not good happens if you say, I cannot afford it. But if you say, how can I afford it? That will open up your brain, it starts thinking about good things. It gets excited because it has to do something to make it affordable. So most of us don't think right because they think I cannot afford it, rather they should say how can I afford it. We are often told being an entrepreneur is more risky, and I cannot agree more than this, because when we used to go to school they would always say, you have to work hard to get a good job, but never anybody told us you should go to college and start your own business. That is very rare. I don't think anybody here also, if you think about what your parents, your older, everybody suggested you should work hard so that you can get a good job. But that is the problem, because they say starting your own business is very risky. There's a lot of problems. But if you read this book from Mr. Robert, and it says that it is not that tough. It is actually easy to start your business. You learn so many things you think actually were very tough. It tells you a lot of things which you know how to do that, but you were scared of doing that. So all that skill set, all that independence that you get by starting a business, you learn, but even if you work for somebody else after that, you are a better learned person. You learned actually a lot of things that will help you in doing job for somebody else also. So often we are told being an entrepreneur is more risky. Now you should understand the difference between assets and liabilities. Now the topic of today's topic is that how to be more financially independent, right? So you should understand the difference between assets and liabilities. If your income from the assets is enough for you to survive, that means you are financially independent. You don't have to be rich. You should start getting the income from the asset. A lot of people are confused about the difference between what is asset and what is liability. So let me ask you, is the home you're living in, like if you own a home, is that an asset or a liability? Anybody? The home you're living in, is it an asset or a liability?
It's an asset as long as you can sell it. And
So, okay, you think it's an asset, right? And I disagree with that. I disagree because...
It's an asset as long as you can.
No, I understand that. A lot of people say it is an asset as long as you can sell and make money, right? But this is not what I'm talking about in today's topic. Home is not an asset as per Mr. Robert Kiyosaki. He's saying the home is actually not giving you a positive cash flow. You're living there, you're not getting any cash flow. What about your car? You're not getting any cash flow. Even if you buy Mercedes or you buy a costly car, it's not giving you any cash flow. So those are not assets. What if the price of the house goes down tomorrow, right? So that is not a positive cash flow. So the money you keep, if that is equal to money from the income minus a liability, that is the money you keep. If that money is enough to survive, then you attain the financial independence. And the money from the assets, now first of all, what are the assets I'm talking here? The assets could be your career, right? That is one of the assets. Or it could be rental income from the properties. It could be 401k. It could be a lot of other things. So if the income from those things is more than the liabilities or expenses, that means you are financially independent. I cannot see the red one. Okay, so I will close here by saying that if your income from assets is more than the expenses, that day you are financially independent. And there are a lot of ways to do that. I'm not giving example how to do that, but you can definitely do that. Thank you very much, and I close here.
Thank you, Bharat. Thank you so much. Let's take a moment to write some comments to Bharat. Excuse me.